Welcome to Roundhouse Roulette, a Walker, Texas Ranger podcast. Thanks for joining us as we recap and review one of the 200 existing Walker, Texas Ranger episodes randomly selected by Roundhouse Roulette. I'm Evan Dalton here with my bro Adam.
What's going on?
And our favorite emu farmer, Mr. Bob Leahy.
They're close. I can feel it. We'll get there.
Well, we'd like to thank you for joining us as we talk corruption in the prison systems. But, of course, that means today we're going to be recapping and reviewing Season 7, Episode 2, Trackdown, where the Rangers have to help a wrongly imprisoned man. I guess he's caught up in some dangerous prison drama.
And it's not like an acting class or anything like that. It's like some serious stuff.
I would say so, yeah. But, before we grab the hounds and hop on the horses, join us as we pull up a seat at CD's Bar and Grill.
How many episodes of Walker have we dealt with where there's like corrupt wardens or prison guards or whatever? We're probably up to almost a handful at this point, right?
So there's the one with Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah. And when Gage and Walker go undercover in a prison fighting ring. I mean, That's probably going to be the pinnacle. It's going to be hard to beat that with any of these kind of things.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then they showed Walker like doing his prison workout routine. That was epic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are definitely some other ones.
Just blurring them all together.
All that to say, the reason I'm bringing that up here is CD has procured the perfect beverage for this episode for us to talk about that. So being that we're here at CD's Bar and Grill, what has he got on tap for us, Evan?
This is an offering from the Medusa Brewing Company, based out of Framingham, Massachusetts. And this is No Prison Can Hold Me. Yeah. And I think very on the nose for this episode. There may or may not be a prison break. So let's crack these. Thanks, CD. This looks to be an Imperial Red IPA 10%er. So this is going to be a long podcast, guys.
It's only 8%.
Only, yeah.
Oh, 8%? Okay.
We're definitely not recording this on a school night.
No.
Oh, wow. That's some color right there.
An Imperial Red Ale. I don't think I've ever had one of those before. No, Imperial Red IPA.
It describes itself for the hopheads out there.
Let's get into the minutia here. What does it say?
This Imperial Red IPA features complex hoppy flavors and layers of pine, resin, and citrus, balanced against a sturdy backbone of toasty caramel malts.
Nice.
It reminds me of being chased through the woods.
I mean, there's a phoenix rising from the ashes, and the chains are falling off.
I'd say there's some toasty malts in this puppy.
I guess it's got a little bite there.
We'll see how much it bites later. All right. What do we got on tap here for the news?
Yeah, well, this is our first podcast back from Chuck Norris's unfortunate passing, and thanks to everyone who's reached out. It's just been seeing all the tributes and whatnot. Thought we'd dig into some of those. So, first item of news is the Oklahoma House passes a resolution honoring Chuck Norris. There's a little article here about that. What do we got here with that, Ev?
Wow. The Oklahoma House of Representatives passed a resolution honoring Chuck Norris following his death. The resolution was authored by State Rep. Stacey Jo Adams and recognizes Norris's achievements, Oklahoma roots, military service, martial arts accomplishments, acting career, and charitable work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they said it with a little more excitement than you just read it there, Evan. So
it kind of sounds like I'm listening to NPR, though. I like it. It's soothing.
Oh, okay. Oh, he was kind of like just the news, just the facts, ma'am, kind of thing.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, speaking of NPR, Terry Gross actually re-aired one of her interviews with Chuck Norris. I was like, not expecting to have a Terry Gross interview with Chuck Norris.
I got to listen to that. So it was from 1988. You said?
Yeah. It was good. So we'll link to that.
This is Fresh Air. I'm Terry Gross.
She's been doing it for a while. I had no idea.
Fresh air.
Yeah, no, it was a good interview. We'll link to that on this episode page here. And crazily enough, our podcast, my tribute to Chuck Norris, the Roundhouse Kick That Binds, got picked up by the Tennessean here in Nashville. Guys, I'm published.
Ooh. You know someone at that paper, don't you? That's what this is.
It's possible the paper doesn't exist.
You got to play the game, man. But no, I was like, I'm going to submit this to one of the writers there to see if they'll run it. Because I'm like, this is it. I've been working. This is the only thesis statement I'll write is about Walker, Texas Ranger, and Chuck Norris. This is my moment.
This newspaper is not but a blog.
Also, I've been getting, I don't know if you guys get texts for like, hey, we want to, give you a loan or something like that. All the time, it's just spam people trying to give me like a loan for money. And so it fills up my whole voicemail. I've had to clear it like 5 times. And so then I'm going through to clear the thing. And I saw that the local TV news station reached out to me to comment on Chuck's passing.
No.
Months ago. And I'm like,
prove it. We need a screenshot of the voicemail.
No, I can't. There's no proof.
Oh, okay. There's
Your
no
spam
proof.
filter's overzealous.
So I missed
dial
that.
it back.
I missed it, but they were looking for any Tennessee connection to Chuck Norris, probably for the one day they were covering it, Yeah, the tribute that was a podcast that we put up here, the audio version, is on the Tennessean website. This is what we've been working towards, Walkerology, and at least at this point, that is my current feelings and takeaway from Walker, Texas Ranger about halfway through all the episodes here on the podcast. Well, Chuck Norris, one of his big contributions to society was his Kickstart Kids program, which was Kick Drugs Out of America at the TV show at the time. And he's used karate to help people grow, stay off drugs, and learn discipline. Kickstart Kids just announced they're doing a lasting tribute to Chuck Norris, an event on September 24th this year in Houston. So if you're interested, check that out. We are donating all the proceeds from the last few months from our merch sales, anything off our website, to Kickstart Kids. So we should have a tally for that for you next podcast. And we appreciate everyone who's bought any merch from our site and supported the great cause there. I think I heard somewhere that Chuck called Arnold Schwarzenegger before his passing and kind of asked him to be the ambassador after he's not around anymore. So we should see Arnold, I think, work with Kickstart Kids a little bit, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Action star solidarity right there,
I mean, he went right to the top, in my opinion.
I mean, is Steven Seagal above Arnold?
No one would ever call Steven Seagal. So then it would be, Stallone, maybe? But I think it's Arnold,
He's the top.
And what do you think, Bob?
I mean, in that universe, yeah.
It'd be like Arnold, Stallone, Lundgren, JCVD.
Are you just going through the Expendables? What are we doing
That's
here?
pretty much what it is.
I mean, that's the whole idea, right?
That's the idea. Yep.
Unbelievable. Well, we periodically get comments on our website on episode pages for previous podcasts we've done on Walker episodes, and this is from the for the episode Thunderhawk that we did our 58th podcast on the Walker episode Thunderhawk.
I love this. Okay. Clearly, John is a man of science, and this is my love language. So, John is responding to the episode Thunderhawk, in which Walker uses like a sci-fi like arm cannon military weapon. It's one of the more outrageous props and premises out there. It's kind of incredible. Anyways, John points out the fairly apt assessment here that the fictional sonic weapon uses sound waves. And in the scene after the introduction, the scientist shows the U.S. military planning to put them in orbit in the vacuum of space, where it won't work because sound requires an atmosphere to travel. A mistake. Also, the sonic weapon would damage the approaching airplane, not stop it from hitting Walker and his crew.
Wow. Okay. He really thought about this.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised none of us brought that up in the podcast. I think we were just blown away by the existence of the device to begin with. Yeah.
Just that Walker would put on a sci-fi arm cannon and stop a plane with it. I mean, I think we were in shock, but thankfully that didn't shock John for doing the real Lord's work here in Walkerology.
Now, John, we appreciate the assessment and keep them coming if you come up with more, but I think this is just more evidence to the fact that Newton's laws do not apply to Chuck Norris.
Or the Walkerverse.
Correct.
We also have all our podcasts are going up on YouTube, not with video yet, but they're all up there, and we have been getting a bunch of comments on there, so thought we'd jump in there. We heard from Warrior 316, it's like Austin 316, or I don't know. Is Warrior 316 in the Bible?
I think people just use 316 at the end of anything because Steve Austin is awesome. But maybe the Bible too. But I would just think it would be more about Stone Cold.
Oh, Steve Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, you think Steve Austin has completely hijacked the most quoted phrase in the Bible?
I mean, as far as I grew up Catholic, and I'm like, I don't even heard about it, but I know Austin 316.
Okay. All right. Well, Warrior 316 says, R.I.P. Chuck Norris. Love your podcasts. So thanks for listening. And yet, we heard from another number of people, listeners and fans of Chuck Norris. So I thought we'd dig into them here. Evan, you want to take this next one?
Sure. Alyssa, not 316.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. She says, I hate that I didn't find you guys until Mr. Norris's actual death. Really looking forward to listening to this episode. He died. I found your podcast, and as soon as you started talking, I immediately busted out laughing. This person is unhinged. I was so happy that you guys exist. I love Walker, Texas Ranger. My boyfriend has made me watch it.
Ooh.
A lot. He has those first 10 DVDs of all the episodes. Don't get me wrong, I might have been subjected to this amazing show, but now I might like it more than he does. Cheers, guys. And rip Mr. Chuck Norris.
Unbelievable. It sounds like he's created a Walker monster.
I mean, speaking of super nerds here, Bob, can you read this comment from Sarlacc's Tapeworm?
Oh, is the Sarlacc pit is from Star Wars?
Yes, the Sarlacc is the sandworm that Boba Fett gets thrown into. So, like, if the Sarlacc's got a tapeworm,
Yeah, that's pretty deep cut.
It's a very deep cut.
I respect that greatly. Yeah. What does Sarlacc's tapeworm say, Bob?
They say, I remember going to my room and not wanting to see, to talk to, or be bothered by anybody for about a day or so, back when Brandon Lee died. I was about 15. It was like something sunk inside me. I was always truly gifted in martial arts, with my base being grounded in TKD. I don't know what that is.
That's Taekwondo.
Oh.
Okay.
Ever heard of it? Jeez.
But honestly, JKD, no clue.
Yeah. Anyway, he switched up and started learning some grappling.
What's the acronym for that?
BJJ, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I believe.
Nice.
Okay. You do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course I do. Anyway, Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris were the only reasons that I ever got into it at all. What they did on screen was truly magnificent. Bruce left before my time. Brandon, his son, left right before my prime. Now being closer to 50 than 40 and no longer even in the game, Chuck's gone. And there's that sinking feeling again. R.I.P. Chuck Carlos Norris, a hero whose legacy spanned multiple generations. Always with dignity. Sad face emoji, prayer emoji.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, thanks for sharing your experience. And I think everyone talked about his humility, and just listening to all his old interviews and everything was really inspiring. And to see that he inspired people to get into the martial arts and better themselves, I mean, I think that's his real legacy here. So thanks for sharing that. We heard from past guest of the show, Mondo from the Talented Slackers podcast, who lives in Dallas, Texas. Excuse me, Fort Worth, not Dallas, Texas. I don't want to get hurt for that here. But he said, you guys should do an episode of the many jackets of Cordell Walker.
I think we could at least do a tier list for sure. Top tier that really unbelievably thick Sherpa one.
Oh, his Western jackets are unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie, I have cruised eBay for some of those jackets. I've been like, I just want to get one that's so close to that because it's so sick.
Maybe the cannibal episode, it's like the, floor length jacket where he like pushes it aside and he's got the sawed off shotgun on his belt.
Oh, is it like a duster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I go classic denim, guys. I don't know if it gets much better than that.
I don't know, man. I think it's a Sherpa jacket with like the really thick sheep gloves.
No, I would think it's the denim jacket with the sheep wool interior.
That was pretty good too. Man, I have
So many choices here.
on point, Mondo.
Yeah. Well, lastly, to round out the mailbag here, we heard from a friend of the show here, Maurice Winters, wrote us back again. Evan, what does he say here?
He says, I'm all set to try to conquer Mount McKinley. He says, I want to thank you guys again for the content over the years. Listening to the podcast made the training more bearable. I hope you guys don't mind, but I downloaded a few episodes to listen to during the climb. There's a lot of downtime up there and no internet, so I'm bringing a lot of content and power banks. The conditions are so bad I had to purchase tough power banks that are operable in negative 40 Fahrenheit temperatures. The Chuck Norris of power banks.
Yeah, I'll say.
I'll say.
He says, sorry for the lame joke. I'm a little nervous, but if we apologize for every lame joke we made, that would be half the podcast. Also, why would we mind that he downloaded the podcast? Come on. That's great.
Dude, that's an honor. I mean, you're up on the mountain listening to Roundhouse Roulette, go through the best TV show ever, Walker, Texas Ranger. But Maurice, we're sorry. What does Maurice say here, Evan?
He likes our Chuck Norris tribute and still cannot believe that Chuck's gone. He says Chuck hiked Lassen Peak a few months back, which, if you hike peaks, which none of the three of us do, that means something to you. Thanks again, and I hope the climb is safe and that the Roulette family picks Skyjacked or the Principal episode, the one with the power team. I'll be back in 3 weeks or so. Maurice. Wow. Okay. In 3 weeks, do you think we'll have one podcast up?
We got to get it out from
We
Maurice
might be able
here.
to fire this one out.
Yeah.
It would help if we stopped just going through every email that we got, but
Well, this is the last one.
So Maurice is going to climb like the highest peak in North America, and we're going to get a podcast out.
everyone has their own struggles,
This is our Everest.
It kind of is. I mean, dude, Maurice, that is crazy. Good luck, and we expect a full recap upon your return. And hopefully you're not sick of us from only being able to listen to Roundhouse Roulette while up there. Well, last thing on the agenda, guys, I always have notifications for Walker, Texas Ranger memorabilia and stuff online, and periodically check around. And gently scroll down to this next item here. I knew.
Okay. No context. No context. Okay.
All right, no context for the listeners. Evan, if you want to roll this out for the listeners here, what do we got?
Okay.
And guys, copy that link and pop it in because we're going to dig deep on this one.
I've already got it open. You kidding me?
So this is a Craigslist listing for new sealed Roundhouse Provisions Morning Kick in strawberry lemonade, $10. And I think this is in Indiana.
Ohio.
Oh, okay.
I'm already plotting the course.
You're already reached out. That's good. Yeah. So this is, Chuck Norris and his family have Roundhouse Provisions that was doing kind of doomsday bucket food, and then they switched to kind of more health powder for your morning health drink and stuff. And we've yet to be sent samples to try it on the podcast, but this might be a viable option for us to pick up some on Craigslist here. Evan, do you want to dig into this listing? What does it say?
Yeah, it says, I have new sealed Roundhouse Provisions Morning Kick and Strawberry Lemonade. Chuck Norris approved. Manufacturer date June 6, 2025, and good for minimum 2 years from manufactured date. I have 2 of these available, and they are $10 each jar. If you are interested in one or both jars, email me or text. And please pick up in Norwood. Great way to try before you pay much higher price. These are sealed jars too, with 1 O. Thanks, Ryan.
Oh, yeah. He said, thanks, Ryan.
That's all he wrote. That might have been what he said.
Oh, he was writing the listing to Ryan, you think?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, probably.
Okay, he's got a picture of the manufacturer date on the bottom. All right. And let's check that seal.
Wow. If you look at the top, though, there's a coupon on top, a QR code that gives you up to 5% off your next order. So, I mean, that's kind of a bargain in and of itself.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't expire. But
Yeah. What is this on? It's on top of like these. Do you think this is in his like fallout shelter or something?
the guy took the time to put this up to make maybe $20 max. This person just wanted to give somebody a deal, and I respect that, you know?
Dude, Morning Kick has probiotics and vitamins and things.
Adam, I'll have to let you know that this is about a 13-hour drive for me. And according to this map, about 4 hours for you. So
you guys think I need to pick this up?
Yeah, I'd clear your schedule tomorrow. Get an early start.
But while I was out searching for Walker treasures, I picked up the audition script for the character of Ringo from the episode The Lynn Sisters, which is one of our highest rated episodes of Walker Texas Ranger on RoundhouseRoulette.com. And if you remember, Ringo's the kind of the doofus guy who wears Hawaiian shirts who kidnaps the Lynn sisters and is videotaping them while they're going to be killed. This episode, the Lynn sisters, one of the most ridiculous of the late period Walker Texas Ranger episodes. And it dealt with the music industry. So we had to rate it highly. And it's one of our top rated ones because there's the action, there's the absurdity. Loretta Lynn's actual daughters are in the episode and they get kidnapped by these two goons who want to have them do their last song, videotape it, and then kill them so it will literally be the last song they've ever done, and they have the last video of it. And one of the brothers, Ringo, is the guy videotaping the Lynn sisters as they do this. But this is the actual call sheet. This is Walkerology here. And for those out there saying, hey, you guys better not stop doing the podcast after Chuck passes away. It's like, are you kidding me? We're just getting started. The Walkerology is happening, and we're digging in deep. I figured it's been a while, and why don't we do a Walker reenactment here on the podcast? And here we go. So we've got the cast. The cast is I'm going to be Khan. Bob, you're auditioning, man. And you can use the notes if you want from the original script. But, you know, you're auditioning for Ringo. And Evan, you're holding it down as his brother, Stefan. Set the scene. Here we go.
Con, spare us the recap. The bottom line is still when this deal goes through, you triple your money. That's a 300% profit whenever it happens. If I were you, that's what I'd be focusing on.
That's too bad. Because by this week's end, if I either get the million CDs I contracted for or my $2 million back with interest. Sorry, let me take scratch that.
Wow.
I'm not an actor.
I'm glad this isn't a audition for Con.
Wait, can I take that again, guys? Hold on. I just need another sip of my beer for this. Let me. I've been having problems with my thumb. I think it's at my acting and okay, take two.
You want me to go?
We're starting from scratch. Is it cool? Can we read from the beginning? Okay, here we go.
Con, spare us the recap. The bottom line is still, when this deal goes through, you triple your money. That's a 300% profit whenever it happens. If I were you, that's what I'd be focusing on.
That's too bad. Because by this week's end, I will either get the million CDs I contracted for, or my $2 million back with interest, or I'll see you dead. If I were you, that's what I'd be focusing on.
All right, bro. It's time to move.
Not yet.
Didn't you hear what Mr. Khan said? We stay here, we're spiked.
And scene. I mean, that's pretty good. Let's move on to scene 2. We got a few scenes from the script here. Let's move over to scene 2. Again, kicking off with Ringo's brother, Stefan. Here we go.
All right. Khan says he wants the wins. Fine. We'll give them to him.
How?
Well, they're in town for a show this week.
So what? You gonna kidnap him?
Come on, little brother. You know me. Kidnapping the girls is going to be just the beginning.
Wow. Okay. Guys, there's some heat in this audition room here. Let's move on to scene 3.
Yeah. This is even better than I thought, bro.
Just don't get too attached.
I know. Still, I can appreciate the talent while it's alive.
Then we probably shouldn't work them to death.
Cut. Okay, we're gonna stop taping. Give you two a beauty rest.
Wow. This is, guys, I'm getting the feels of this. One more scene, quick scene here, and we're gonna bring it around here. Okay, here we go.
Time for your swan song, ladies. Don't worry, I'm rolling no matter what.
The Winds starring in their very own snuff film. You're a sick man, Khan.
With 1 million video units, I can sell $100 American each. I'm a rich, sick man.
Wow. Yeah. Incredible. We really relived that episode.
Well, before we move into digging into this episode, Trackdown here, guys, I just want to shout out everybody who's supported us, our patrons, and we're going to be making this audition script available for patrons when this episode comes out, so you guys can dig through it and get into the Walkerology yourself. Also, shout out to Paul, who just became a new patron. And thank you for your support, Paul. You're going to be able to do this role-playing, and if you want, get whatever you want to do, but it's going to be available for you as a patron. We also wanted to shout out everybody who's bought merch in the last 3 months. We sold a few more Ranger Teen Camp sweatshirts, which I can't believe. 2 more of those are in the universe now. And again, we're going to give all the proceeds. We're just going to do it for a month, but since we've been off the air for a little bit, everything since the last podcast, we're going to donate to Kickstart Kids.
All right, so shout out to Joe, Laura, Rosie, Muhammadu, Cherie, and Roy.
Yeah, thank you for supporting the podcast, and you're actually going to be supporting Kickstart Kids with your purchase. And so thank you, Chuck, and thank you all for helping Chuck's legacy move on. That's all we got for the mailbag stuff. Evan, bring us forward, brother.
Incredible. I'd say we've got a lot to cover, but we've already covered a lot. Anyways, we have an episode to cover this week, so let's get on into it. If you're watching along at home and don't want any spoilers, hit that pause button and watch Walker Season 7, Episode 2, Trackdown. Come on back to us if you dare. Oh, welcome back. Let's dig in. This episode aired on October 3rd, 1998. What were you doing that night? I hope it was watching Walker, because it opens on some silly banter in a heat wave amidst Walker and Trivette wheeling and dealing on investments.
Yeah, isn't there an episode where Trivette put Chuck's retirement into some investments, and by the end of the episode, lost his whole retirement fund? So, Trivette's like, oh, Walker, I've got this new thing you got to invest in, man. And Walker's like, no, man, I'm not investing again with you, bro.
It's interesting. This episode references back to things that have happened in the past a few times, which episodes don't too often.
And he even tells Trivette, he says, yeah, man, I've just about recovered from what you did to me last time, which was only a few episodes. So he must be making bank.
So then we cut to an apartment, and the transitions in this...
intense. Both audio and visual.
Some swooshing digital zooms, that kind of stuff.
So we get a jarring transition to an apartment where a woman who we learn is Carmen and her baby are surprised to see Hector, who appears to be either husband or father or something along those lines, back from work so soon. And Hector's upset because he got fired by Dunbar for stealing. And she's like, well, you didn't steal, right? And he's like, of course not, I didn't steal. And he's like, I'm going to go. And she's like, well, what are you going to do? And he's like, I'm going to go get my money back. So I guess he's going to steal his money.
Is it stealing if you were stiffed? We'll get into that later, but so that seems like what he's doing, yeah.
Big part of the episode right there.
And so he immediately leaves, gets in his car, and pulls up to work. Maybe about a 5 seconds of him doing that. He gets out of his car, and then there is a flashback literally a minute and 40 seconds into the episode. I'm like, dude, is this the earliest a flashback has ever been done in an episode of something you've already seen?
The time difference between the flashback and when it happened in our timeline.
We don't keep track of that stat, but you're probably right, Adam.
That's
some
absurd.
Advanced mathematics right there.
It was. That was unbelievable. I was already into this episode from that.
Dude, that's for the septuagenarians that are asleep from Touched by an Angel. They got to wake them up with the transition, and then you need the flashbacks because some of them are just joining, you know? Yeah. So he shows up at the auto parts shop, and the guy who clearly is Dunbar is
his boss.
His
And
boss.
you look at the wall, and there's like all these wrestling posters, or no, boxing.
Yeah. Well, he's flipping through a boxing magazine.
Right. Yes. As one does.
And as Adam said, he has boxing memorabilia from his fighting days, which are basically just photos of him with like a mustache. It's pretty sick.
Right. So you're like, oh, well, yeah, you probably, if he's your boss, you probably don't want to cross him. You know what I mean? But our main character here, Hector, he's like, hey, man, look, dude, like, you stiffed me my money. I just came here for my money. And he's like, man, I fired you. You got to get out of here. He's like, no, man, I need to get paid.
He's like, just go on welfare.
Yeah, what boss says that? This Dunbar guy is terrible.
Yeah, for sure.
So what really happens is, does Dunbar go, oh, you want a piece of me kind of thing?
Well, no, he's like, I need my money back. And then Dunbar basically takes a swing at him.
He sucker punches him.
Yeah, pretty much. And there are like two employees in the back who they serve as witnesses later on, but
and maybe they're like, oh, this will never happen to me. He won't hire me and then not pay me, right?
That definitely won't happen. But then Hector gets up and grabs a glass and smashes it over Dunbar's head, and then grabs exactly the amount of money he's owed, $486 or something.
Right, and he tells the guys, he said, hey guys, I'm just taking the money, the whatever amount of money that would be 2 weeks' work from the cash bar. We're good. I'm out of here.
Yeah, he speeds off in his car, and back in the car, you see the Rangers again, and they get the call. Someone calls in the altercation. Here's my question. Who called that in? Do you think it was Dunbar?
Yeah, or one of his goons.
But if he's doing this to like people stiffing workers, you probably let that go. You'd probably be like, you know what? But maybe that's just how dumb Dunbar is after getting his head beat in the boxing ring.
It's true. Not super smart. So anyways, of course, they call it in over the radio, and the car speeds past them. And so Walker and Trivette make a U-turn.
And this is Hector's getaway.
Yeah.
And please, they bang a Yui.
They do bang a Yui.
Hector is in hot pursuit by Chuck Norris and Trivette in the Dodge Ram. And he's maneuvering through traffic. But then he sees out of the corner of his eye a woman with a baby carriage about to cross the street, and if he could either hit the woman with the baby carriage or swerve and be caught by Walker and Trivette.
I mean, to be fair, the woman with the baby carriage walks right out into traffic without looking, and then when she notices a car coming, stops dead in her tracks and screams really loudly. So Hector swerves to avoid them and hits a vehicle. Sparks fly. A bit disappointed there wasn't an explosion, but Hector's banged up pretty good, I guess. Although in reality, like, I don't know. I guess
I had to roll that one back because I'm like, why is he's in when they Walker and Trivette come to kind of arrest him, they have their guns pulled, and he's just like laying down. He's like, "Is the woman okay?" I'm like, dude, he hit a parked car. I don't know.
Some sparks flew. I mean, there wasn't even an explosion. We know that, like, if you hit with even a small amount of force, these cars explode. But maybe he didn't have a seatbelt on.
No.
Yeah.
Just thinking as like an actor now, though, like, because now that we all have auditioned for a role,
right?
It's true.
Like,
it's
if
true.
you had, like, say your boss, just put your head in the game here. You know, say your boss had stiffed you for 2 weeks of work. You're just trying to make ends meet. You got a newborn baby. You know, you go to confront your boss, who used to be an ex-boxer. He kicks your ass. And then you sucker punch him and steal just the amount of cash that he owes you. get out the door. Then you get like 2 renegade Texas Rangers in a Dodge Ram coming after you, chasing you. And then you almost kill a baby, but you avoid it. And then you get into a crash. You can't judge the way this man is shaking and convulsing when Walker and Trivette say, come and get him.
Walker and Trivette kind of knew. They knew this is a good guy, you know?
I would say Hector is classic Walker Texas Ranger character that's in the wrong place at the wrong time, multiple times. So the next scene, Alex is reflecting out the window, and she's really just staring out the courthouse window. And Walker comes in, and he's like, what's on your mind? And she's like, oh, just thinking about, after my recent stay in the hospital, which is a link to very rare continuity in the show.
And also, can we talk about the chemistry between Walker and Alex in this scene? This is the most I've ever seen.
Are you kidding?
I don't know, man. It was heated, man.
They actually touched each other.
Exactly.
I guess that's true.
Physical
That's
contact.
true.
It's like third base for Walker.
They went from lukewarm to tepid.
I mean,
that's pretty hot.
Medium rare.
I was titillated.
Wow. So anyway, she's like, I've been reflecting after my stay in the hospital, and I want to help people. I want to help people who don't have a voice and who need representation. And it's like, isn't that what you do in your job?
All right. Well, and Walker's kind of like that. So you're going to stop being a district attorney and do something else too? Because, that's not a very time consuming job.
Well, no, he's like, well, she's like, I'd like to help people. And he's like, well, what would you like to do? And she's like, I'd like to open a house that offers legal support and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. It's like, wow, you really, really thought this through. And he's like, so you're going to quit your job? And she's like, no, it'd be like a nonprofit or something like that. And then he was like, if that's what you want to do, you should do it. And she's like, I knew you'd support me. You're so great.
And does he pinch her or something after that?
I don't know. They like hug or kiss or something. But then someone knocks on the door and she's like, not in my office.
Again, this is the most we've ever seen of that stuff on Walker Texas Ranger.
I don't know. We've seen her roll up a towel and slap his butt. So, I mean, that's a rolling boil if you're asking me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Anyway, I'm just saying it's great to see that the magic's still there after marriage.
After season 6. All right. So that's the origin of Hope House. And the person coming into her office is, what were they called? What was
One of the Sons of Thunder.
The Sons of
Carlos Sandoval is the detective. And we love Carlos.
Big fan.
So Carlos, he's like, oh, just checking on someone you just booked, Hector. He's my niece's husband. And, he's always up to no good, I think, but she really loves him. And she says he's got a bad rap and he's just trying to defend his family and they've got a baby. And Walker's like, well, I booked him, so let's go talk to Carmen. And she sells Hector to Walker and Carlos. And, honestly, all we've seen of Hector really sells him as a stand-up guy. Even, the fact that he's like knocked out after his car chase, he was trying to avoid the woman, the baby buggy, and he was concerned about her, not him. He seems like a pretty stand-up guy. But we hear from Alex later that he's in pretty deep trouble here because the witnesses that were there say that Hector had a gun, which totally not true. We saw what happened.
It with our own 2 eyes. We saw that he didn't have a gun. So it sounds like his boss is lying and using the 2 employees there as witnesses.
Yeah. So we see Walker and Carlos go see Hector in the jail. Walker's like, well, I want to know what happened. And Hector says, like, well, didn't Carlos tell you? And he's like, well, I want to hear from you. And Hector says something which is like pretty poignant for Walker, which is something like, the truth is whatever someone like you says that someone like me did. Basically, like, whatever he says doesn't matter. But Walker makes him think differently. So he does tell his story. But he says that Dunbar is basically just taking people in who are in sort of desperate need of jobs and taking advantage of them and then getting free labor and then firing them and saying that he's going to,
That they stole.
Yeah.
Like he lied that they stole and fired them so we didn't have to pay him.
Yeah. And then he'd go to the cops with it, which again, I don't know why you'd bring the cops into a twisted scheme like that. Because at some point someone would be like, well, show me that you actually paid them. That's it'd be pretty easy to prove that you paid somebody,
Yeah, but once the police officer went up to Dunbar's shop and they saw all those wrestling magazines and the boxing trophies and stuff, they'd be like, yeah, we're not going to mess with this guy,
Yeah. I wrote in the notes that the transitions are bright red at this point, so there must have been some sort of crazy transition, but Hector is now sent to prison, so he's having like flashbacks in the prison bus.
It was kind of strange because it seemed like, oh, well, it sounds like Walker's going to look into this now. Flash to red transition. Oh, no. Hector is on the prison bus and he's been convicted. And they show him like the sentence coming down and him hugging his wife and like being pulled away, and now he's on a prison bus.
You do hear that he's being sent to minimum security prison, which is important.
Yeah.
Okay, they did cross their T's on this one.
Yeah. The judge is like, well, I don't really want to sentence you to this, but my hands are a bit tied, so you're sentenced to a year. So he gets sent to prison, and you get the roll call with all the convicts coming off of the bus and being taken into the prison. And we get to meet the prison guards who, I mean, he's immediately giving off bad guy energy. I didn't look this dude up, but I feel like he's in other Walker episodes. Is he not?
He was in the episode Final Justice as well, which is when Walker goes and confronts his parents' killer. This actor was also in that episode. He also played this Star Trek character from Deep Space Nine, so we need to give him a shout out, pull him up.
He was also in Total Recall, so.
He was in Total Recall?
Yeah.
That's probably where I recognize him from, honestly.
Mark Alimo?
There it is.
Mark Alimo. Yeah.
I think like we had like a Mark Alimo super fan.
Yes, and they told us how to pronounce it. Then we made a meme out of it.
Right, so we're probably saying it wrong again.
Do we have the notes from that episode?
No, because the meme was, it's pronounced Alimo.
Okay, so are we getting it correct now?
That superfan set us on the straight and narrow.
He is a perfect Walker villain and perfect for this.
Just such bad guy energy.
Yeah, corrupt prison guard, head of the prison guards. So excellent work. Shout out to him.
He's like, welcome, ladies. My name's Kelton. Cooperator, I'm going to make your life a living hell. And then he's like, armed robbery in only a year? That judge is getting soft. So anyways, transition to Dunbar, who's at it again, punching out another employee. But this time, Walker's there to set him straight.
Yeah, I don't know. Was Walker like coming around at payday on Friday and just like sitting outside waiting for this to happen again?
Sure looked like it.
Either that or he's just constantly punching people out.
The back and forth trash talk was pretty good. Walker's comeback was kind of lame. He was kind of like, well, I wish you were as good a fighter as you were a talker.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then Walker kicks the crap out of Dunbar.
So we go back to the prison, and we see Hector. He's sitting at a table looking at a photo of his family, and his friend Eddie comes up. Eddie seems like a sweet guy. Anyways, he's like, oh, how's your family? Hey, when you're out there, I hear you're really good friends with Walker. Yeah, so that guy sounds really great. Can you please tell about all the corruption and drug deals and everything else that all the terrible prison guards are doing and abusing us?
Yeah, I know you're getting out tomorrow and you don't want to mess that up, but can you also think of us?
Right, and Hector's like, look, man, I just really want to get out, and I don't want to hear any of that. I do not want to be involved in this because nothing good's going to come of that. And yeah, I can't. And Eddie's like, oh, okay, fine. So Eddie's disappointed, but he watches a transaction between the guards, and he's like sweeping or something, and the guards are talking, and you hear one of them being like, oh, it's some good weed.
So the prison guards are doing like illegal weed deals in prison or something?
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. And then as Kelton's leaving the room, he bumps into Eddie, or Eddie bumps into him and steals his book without him knowing. So he's got Eddie's deal book, which I guess somehow proves that he's doing nefarious things. Meanwhile, speaking about terrible investments, Walker and Alex close on the Hope House.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, we're getting the origin of the Hope House, and we've talked about this place on previous Walker episodes. So there's so many different episodes that use that as kind of a storytelling device of Alex's Help Our People Excel House, which we learn here that Walker helps her come up with that name.
He's so smart. He has his moments.
And Alex was just like, thank you, for coming up with that name.
She's like, you're so smart. And he's like, I have my moments.
Oh my gosh. Very exciting. That was a very exciting scene. Let's move on.
Yeah. So back in the prison grounds, Eddie learns that Hector's about to leave in like an hour. And so he basically foists Kelton's logbook onto Hector. And Hector's like, fine, I'll take it. And he's like, oh, good. We have no connection to each other. They'll never find us. So he gives him the book, and then Eddie walks away. And then the guards immediately grab Eddie because Kelton knows that, he bumped into him and he's got his book. And so the guards just like straight up hold Eddie down just outside the prison yard, like within sight of everybody. Then Kelton just like shanks the guy.
Right. But it's like, Hector is watching through the gate though at a weird angle, and then they're like, oh, Hector
they look over and they're like, oh wait, Hector can see us, but like Hector's standing in the middle of the prison ground, so like anyone can see.
Yeah, pretty much anyone could have seen it.
Meanwhile, we see a bread truck coming in, and I was like, what is the bread truck connection here?
So the prison guards, after shanking Eddie, they see Hector. And they're like, oh, man, we got to get after him. So they start chasing Hector. And Hector's like running. And I'm like, how far can he go in this thing? But it's like almost wide open. And then he makes it to the bread truck. And we're like, oh, this is all connected and open to other people. And like you said earlier, it's minimum security.
Minimum security prison.
So Hector makes it to the bread truck and starts like a getaway. And like all the prison guards are running after this bread truck with Hector peeling out. And Hector just busts through the chain link fence in this, bread truck. And I'm like, that's a pretty badass bread truck. Where have I seen that logo before? So I picked up some prop stickers from the graphic designer for Walker, Texas Ranger. We're going to shout her out here. Jennifer Condor, the art director. And I actually sent Bob a hot sauce once with one of these stickers on it. And it's like the stickers they put on prop foods so that they don't use name brands. And I'm like, wait a minute. I think that bread truck logo matches the sticker I've got for some bread items here. And it does. It's the same bakery.
And may I also say that just as this episode may have set a record for having the shortest period of time between an actual event and the flashback, this may also set the record for longest credits, because at this point, we see the last credit. This is at the 18-minute and 10-second mark.
Oh my gosh, that's almost halfway through the episode.
Yes, that's pretty impressive, quite frankly.
And for people who aren't familiar, we also chart on our website, along with the roundhouse kicks, explosions, fights, and everything else, the time mark where the credits stop rolling in a Walker episode. And I think this might be the record. This is the record. The previous last one was the episode livegirls.now, and the credits ended at 16 minutes and 15 seconds.
It's like not even close. It's like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, so we hit the 18-minute mark in this episode. So for that alone, this episode of Trackdown is notable.
That's a prototypical episode here. Speaking of prototypical, this bread truck, it takes off and we see it turn a corner and the guards are all like, oh, we lost him. While they may have been loaded up with beautiful loaves of bread, but it did not have a full tank of gas. That thing made it about maybe a half mile up the street before it ran out of gas, apparently. But we see basically the start of a total manhunt going down. We got a pair of sniffing dogs, and we got, what's his name, Kelton, and his two lieutenants, so the prison guards.
And the warden is also out there, and we're wondering if the warden is in on it, but it seems like he's not.
Nah, we later learned the warden's on the first name basis with Walker, so he's on the up and up.
Yeah.
But Kelton and his two guys, they're like putting rifles with scopes into their saddle bags, so they're not planning on taking anyone alive, it would seem.
Yeah, they can't afford Hector to get out there with that book, and then they'd be out of jobs, and maybe they'd be in prison.
Right. But Carlos shows up with Carmen, and he goes to the warden. He's like, hey, man, I'm trying to see Hector because I was supposed to pick him up.
This was his release day.
Yeah, he was supposed to be released today. What's going on? And the warden's like, well, man, Hector killed another inmate and then ran off in a bread truck. And Carlos, I mean, God bless Carlos. He's like, what? And the warden's like, well, don't worry. My guy Kelvin, he's going to get him. He gets everyone. And Carlos is like, all right, well, I'm going to go along with these guys then because I can talk to them. And the warden basically forces the issue and is like, yeah, sure, you can go with them. That's fine. So at that point, we know that the warden's probably fine. But this is what sets Carlos apart from most other characters in this show. He says to Carmen, tell Walker what's going on. In the business, this is called calling in backup. This is kind of important.
Right. And it lets the viewers know that, yeah, Walker's going to knock some skulls at the end of this episode, so keep watching.
Yeah. So Carmen calls Walker and Trivette, but they're a bit busy. They're fighting bank robbers in a cartoonish way, I would say.
Yeah, we flashed into like them kicking the butt out of these bad guys, and they're doing like holding like a conversation in between too, right?
Yeah. They're holding a conversation up about investing in emu farms while taking out some bank robbers.
This is pretty great.
That seems pretty tongue-in-cheek, but also very Walker. But Trivette wants Walker to invest in emu ranches because emus are a high-protein, low-fat animal. So they can make burgers or something out of emus.
So they're fighting and talking about this investment, and Chuck is like, no, man, I'm not going to invest in the emu farm. You've already got me once. Not going to do it again, man. As they're wrapping up the fight, he gets a call that he needs to go.
So they get a call, and they're like, okay, Carmen's on the phone, so we know that Walker's now invested in this. So we see Hector running away. He's now having more flashbacks in red. And Kelton is now taking Carlos with him, which he wasn't super happy about it. But they're like, okay, that's fine. And Kelton's like, can you even ride a horse?
And of course, Carlos is like, this is Texas. Of course I can ride a horse.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, it seems like everybody in Texas can ride a horse. So come on now. And so eventually they reach a clearing and they see Hector on the other side. And one of the wardens just like pulls his gun out of the saddlebag. And Carlos is like, whoa, what the hell are you doing?
Right. He's like, dude, we're taking him in alive, bro. You don't need to just shoot him, man.
And the warden's like, wait, okay.
Warden's like, yeah, you know what? Why don't you, Carlos, go in after him and help bring him out?
Yeah, why don't you go straight ahead? And we'll just stay back here with our guns. So Carlos basically chases Hector. I considered this whole scene to be a chase as well for our stats, just so you know. Particularly with Carlos rampaging after Hector, shouting, "It's me, Carlos! Hector, it's me, Carlos!" How many times do you think he needs to say that before Hector actually gets it?
Dude, if you have a horse coming at you, you have to say that multiple times. But he dives off the horse onto him, so that's pretty good. It's not a vehicular transference, but it's a transference.
Yeah, he jumps onto Hector, and Hector's like, Carlos, man, I got to keep going. They're going to shoot me. They're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. The warden killed some guy. They're trying to frame me for it. They're going to kill me. And Carlos is like, whoa, what's going on? And then you hear, pew, and gunshot, and Carlos gets hit.
But it was kind of like the movie Problem Child, where the dad gets shot at the end of the movie, and he's saved by a prune, and Carlos is saved by the handle of his gun.
Which ruins his gun. You know, this is good plot here because he can't now use his gun to defend himself. So then Walker pulls up on the road and he's like, oh, hey, Jim, to the warden. At this point, we know the warden's on the up and up.
So is he an old friend?
Warden Jim.
He doesn't die, so I'm going to say not old friend.
Acquaintance, maybe not old friend.
Okay.
The warden's like, man, everyone's coming in here now. And Walker's like, well, what's going on? He's like, well, my head prison guard's out there and Kelton's trying to bring them in, but they should be back by now. And Walker's like, where'd they go? And he's like, White Rock Mesa. Walker's like, I know a back way. Can I get a horse? And Jim's like, absolutely. So of course Walker knows the back way. And like Carlos and Hector keep trying to escape them, and they've been in a riverbed, and they've been in the riverbed for a while, and they've reused the same shot of them running in the riverbed 3 times.
And isn't that like the thing? It's like when you're being tracked by anybody, you want to go in the water because dogs can't track you through the water or something like that.
Yeah, that's a common concept. I don't know if it's true or not. So they're chasing them through the riverbed. Meanwhile, they get past the riverbed and then run up onto the bank. And Carlos is all like, "Look, man, Hector, I know I give you a hard time, but I think you're a really good guy and all that."
Because lest you forget, Hector is married to his cousin. Is that what it is?
His niece. He's Uncle Carlos.
So he's got to give some tough love to Hector to make sure that he provides for the family.
Yeah, his nephew-in-law. But he's also like, "Hey, man, I know that you're like on the up and up and all the good stuff, but we also got to keep going because the dogs are coming." They start running again, and a stuntman takes like a serious dive. Like this stuntman committed to the bit. I had to like rewind this a couple times because the stuntman trips over like a log and then just like completely dives headfirst into a gully. It's pretty intense.
And I thought now Hector's gonna like have a broken leg or something like that is what I was thinking. And then
no way, man. No. Instead, there's a wolf waiting.
Yeah, and I'm like, is this like stock footage? But no, they show the wolf in the same frame as Hector. And I'm like, dude, they actually had a wolf out there who was going to attack Hector. Is he going to get eaten or something?
The wolf is growling, and Hector's like, "Oh my God, I'm at the bottom of this gully, and now there's a wolf down here." And at this point, my wife came in. This was like super early this morning.
Perfect timing.
I was watching the episode, and there's the wolf, and I'm like, this is so ridiculous. I turned my computer to her, and I was like, Walker's going to show up right now.
Yeah, you're going to want to see this.
Yeah. And I wasn't wrong. And in fact, this is perhaps the most epic wolf taming footage that's ever occurred. So there's a wolf, and Walker shows up and holds out his hand.
And he tells Hector, he's like, "Yeah, just chill for a second, man. Just chill."
Yeah. And then basically just makes like really intense eye contact. And by intense, I just mean eye contact with the wolf. And you get varying shots of the wolf's eyes as it growls. You get Walker's eyes zooming in. Then you get, I think, a moon is superimposed at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And then the wolf is howling at the moon. And then you see Walker's image superimposed over all of that. And he's wearing like traditional Native American headdress. Then basically the wolf is tamed and runs away. It's basically a mountain t-shirt Walker-fied.
Yeah.
But pretty much he looks into his eyes and he goes and the wolf just walks off like he's a dog.
Yeah, and it really is like a mountain t-shirt. Those like tie-dyed t-shirts with the now kids wear them ironically, but little known fact, Bob used to tie-dye those shirts in the factory, in the mountain factory.
Sure did.
I mean, yeah, there's a frame in this GIF where you see Walker's eyes, the moon, a wolf howling at the moon, and Walker in war paint on the face of the moon all at once. And yeah, it's really something. So yeah, truly special moment there for the show.
What are we calling those? Well, I mean, he communicates with animals. Animal telepathy or
through eye contact. It's sort of mystical communication.
I mean, I was going to go a Croc Dundee.
That's pretty good. Maybe interspecies
interspecial communicado.
Interspecific communication. Hypnosis. Anyways, just something completely out of left field and totally ridiculous. And the wolf runs away, and Hector's just like, well, now I've seen everything. And then Carlos comes down to the bank, and Walker's like, oh, the dogs are chasing you. Hold on. And Walker runs off into the woods. And Hector says to Carlos, he's like, did you see that? And Carlos is just like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, man, this is like every day when you hang out with Walker.
Right. And I was expecting Carlos to be like, yeah, wolves were extirpated from Texas hundreds of years ago. Where did that thing come from?
Well, you're saying they're not indigenous to Texas?
No, just like the bear episode when there are no real bears in Texas either. Walker, Texas Ranger, brings back extirpated animals. So extirpated is they've been driven out by humans, right? Made extinct locally.
Okay.
In the case of the Texas wolves, they're all extinct actually. But Walker, Texas Ranger de-extincts these animals and puts them in the Texas Hill Country so that characters can interact with perilous animals.
You think Chuck Norris could bring the T-Rex back?
We haven't seen it yet in an episode, but will we have said that he was shooting sonic space lasers?
That's true. Or time traveling. We weren't
Right.
expecting that either, so it's possible.
It's certainly possible. Anyways, if the ridiculousness hasn't reached full peak, Walker then takes a bunch of roots from some plant, crushes them up, and spreads them all over the ground. And this is to stop the dogs. And it does work. The dogs come over, and it's like some sort of sneezing powder. So the two dog trainers have to take their dogs away because they've inhaled some sort of plant that's interfering with their senses.
Right.
But it's all right because Kelton knows that they're just right around the corner. He knows. He can sense it.
He says, they're close. I can feel it.
Yeah. So Walker and Carlos, they're like, all right, let's take these guys on. And they're like, Hector, ride off on this horse. And Hector's like, yeah, I'm
done. I'm out.
I'm very well accomplished on the horse. And he just like busts off on the horse. And Walker's like, what happened to your gun, Carlos? And Carlos is like,
I got lucky.
and Walker's like, here, take my gun. And Carlos is like, what do you, never mind.
Yeah, I like how he was actually acknowledged that, oh yeah, he's just going to wreck house with this fish.
So yeah, anyways, Walker holds up his end of the bargain and basically jumps out of a tree on these guys. And I will say, somewhere around this point, I realized, like, right before the wolf, I was looking at the timestamp. I was looking at the timestamp when the credits rolled, and I was like, man, there are like 20 minutes left in this episode. And I know the last 10 are going to be all about the freaking Hope House.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I was just waiting for it to transition to the Hope House. And it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah, never did. Thank God.
So
I do have to mention the jump out of the tree. That's Johnny Appleseed right there.
that's
I
beautiful.
forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's his move. The Johnny Appleseed was performed by Walker.
So he basically knocks Kelton off the horse and then dispatches him with a sleeper hold.
This fight scene, it's all over the place. And there's some great stills and really weird inconsistencies that are kind of surprising.
Yeah, they fight a lot on their knees.
Yeah, but then like in the next frame, they're standing up.
Props to the editor on this one. It's an interesting one.
Walker just got so many hits in. It was like the guy shouldn't have been standing anyway.
Right.
The sleeper hold that he did finally get on him was not necessary at that point, but it was a good maybe 2-second sleeper.
I'd say given like the crazy flashbacks and all the other stuff, the editor really had their hands full, but they completely and totally nailed the fact that there are multiple stills from this with Walker's eyes, a wolf, a moon, and Walker in a headdress. So the editor completely nailed it in that, and it doesn't matter what they did in the rest of the episode. They got the most important bit.
Respect. So, yeah, they take out the main guy, but there's still one straggler.
Well, there are two
right?
guys. One guy tries to shoot Carlos, and Carlos just shoots him off the horse. And then there's one other guy on a horse, and Carlos is trying to track that guy down. And the guy gets off his horse. Carlos finds his horse and is about to be shot by the guy when Hector comes back in, blazing in on his horse and knocks the guy down.
Yeah, saves Carlos's life, and he's like, I owed you one, brother.
Yeah. So they meet up with Walker on their way out, and they only have one guy on the back of the horse. So here's my question. Did they tie up the guy that was still alive, or did they leave the dead guy?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. And then what happened? What happened to the dog guy? Oh, the dog guy's left.
The dog guy's just left.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that was my main question was, who did they take out with them? Did they just
I would
leave?
assume it was the ringleader, but yeah, if the other guy was shot, you would think it was him, right?
Well, no. Walker had the ringleader, and then
Okay.
there were two other wardens. Carlos shot one of them dead, and then Hector knocked the other guy out with a horse. But as Hector and Carlos met up with Walker, they only had one of them lying over the horse.
I don't know. They probably fed the other one to the wolf.
That's true. The wolf probably came and got the other guy. You're right.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call. All right.
Yeah, it ties everything up.
Offerings. So again, I thought they were going to transition to the Hope House, but instead they're at CD's Bar and Grill. And at CD's, it becomes apparent that CD and Trivette have gone in on an emu farm, and they're now trying to sell emu burgers. And at this point, Alex sets them straight.
I mean, because she has her finger on the pulse of the emu market.
You bet, dude. She's like, Trivette, emus peaked a couple years ago. You're like a couple years behind on that. And CD's all upset at Trivette. And then it's the end of the episode. Freeze frame on Walker's smiling face.
And joke at Trivette's expense. Wow.
Now, let me just say, I pulled this up here and asked our best friend, the artificial intelligence, when did the emu market peak? And it says the U.S. emu market peaked in the early to mid 1990s, reaching its height around 1994.
Oh.
During this speculative breeding bubble, prices soared to dizzying heights, with a single pair of breeding emus fetching anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000.
Wow.
But the market experienced a massive, devastating crash around 1997.
Oh, no.
Which is this episode.
Yeah, she's totally right.
Late. Yeah.
Wow, so they wrote in real stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming a lot of these ranches were down in the Texas, Florida area, like down south where they can keep emus year round. So, yeah, this probably was, at the forefront of everyone's mind. Yeah, interesting.
Who knew? What a time capsule this episode. Oh, my gosh.
The things we learned from Walker. Incredible. Well, that about sums up this episode. When we come back, it'll be time for us to each rate Trackdown on a scale of 0 to 10 boots to the face, resulting in our patented Roundhouse Roulette episode ranking, complete results of which are available on our website, roundhouseroulette.com. Do not go away.
What's up, Evan?
Oh, I'm just fixing to write this week's podcast advert. Something that subtly references a thing that happened in the Walker episode.
Cool. See you later. What's up, Evan?
Oh, I'm just fixing to write this week's podcast advert. Something that subtly references a thing that happened in the Walker episode. But what should I write? Maybe I'll just remind folks that they'd like to support the podcast and help us spread the light of Walker, Texas Ranger to the world. They can follow us on social media or tell a friend about the show. And, if they're so inclined, we've got vintage Chuck Norris books, shirts, action figures over at theroundhouseroulette.com. And they can help support the podcast. And for bonus episodes and additional chaos, they can join us on Patreon.
What's up, Evan?
I'm just fixing to write this week's podcast advertisement. Something that subtly... Wait a minute. Didn't I already do that? Let's get on back to the show. I think I like this episode. I think season 7 kind of hits pretty hard. I think, they're getting into that camp, weirdness.
They're not trying too hard to do the moral stuff, and it's not, super slow.
Right. And this was not a Michael Priest episode.
I thought about that. I was like, I can tell.
Yeah, because that's where they're weird things like them jiving, riffing during a fight. I would say this one kind of has quite a bit of all of it, right? It's got Walker kind of going crazy. It's got a couple of fights, some car chases, 0 explosions, no roundhouse kicks.
No roundhouse kicks?
No, 0 roundhouse kicks, which, the lack of any roundhouse kicks is a pretty major strike here.
Yeah.
But 3 fights, and the credits are kind of ludicrous. I would say this episode would tell people what Walker's all about, right? Just weird, silly things happening. And they fit a ton of plot into not a lot of space. And again, like I said, we got 20 minutes left in the episode, and I'm like, they're just going to talk about the Hope House the whole time. And instead, they just track people down in the woods, and you have kind of craziness there. So, oh, wait. And wolf taming. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm somewhere between a 6 and a 7. I don't think it's an 8 or a 9 because it still doesn't like quite hit with like the ridiculous sound effects for the fights or the excessive roundhouse kicks. I feel like later in season 7, they really go all in on that. But this early in the season, I don't think they're really going there. But again, that wolf taming, that's a top 10 Walker moment. All right, I guess I'm a 6.5 and I got to round up. So I guess it's a 7. I feel like you guys aren't going to be as generous. So I got to overcompensate. Actually, and Mark Alimo, also pretty sick.
Oh, you're using him as an excuse to bump it up to 7?
No, I just think he was good.
He was a good bad guy. But he never really felt like, he shanked a guy, but there wasn't really like he was ever going to have any chance of winning. There wasn't really the menace. It was more like a clownish, like almost small town bad guy kind of thing. It wasn't, there was never really any real terror I got from him. It felt weird. And then it was also weird that you just never knew what their whole like drug plot was. That was like, oh, I guess they're dealing drugs. Okay. Not that you needed to get into it, but it was just like a lot of things going on. I do agree there's so many things here that are hallmarks of a Walker episode. So if you did see this, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I kind of get it. And Walker does kick a lot of butt, even though there are no roundhouse kicks. And they do have CD's Bar and Grill. And we do see him do a ridiculous communicating with his eyes to an animal. But I don't know. I just thought this was middle of the road. I'm giving this a 5.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah. No, I had 7 from the get-go. Well, not from the get-go. I had 7 from when the episode ended. Because at the beginning, it was a little talky. A little too much dialogue, I thought, at the beginning.
Yeah.
But second half,
I'll tell you what, guys. We're not going to be talking about this episode besides the communication with animals. And he does it with a bald eagle. You can't beat that. When you do it with a wolf, okay. But if you can look up into the sky and do it, which he does in another episode.
Well, now you're talking 8 or 9.
If he had doubled down and he did it with a humpback whale.
If there was an explosion and something like a vehicular transference, we had a Johnny Appleseed. That's points.
Pretty good.
I know. The only thing memorable from this episode is the wolf. That's it. That's all we'll be talking about. And there are better versions of his, I don't even know what we call it. We need to come up with a name for it right now. Animal telepathy.
It's the Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Yeah.
I had Croc Dundee. Is what
Crocodile Dundee's more manly, but
Doolittle Dundee.
Doolittle Dundee.
Yeah, Doolittle Dundee. When he does that.
Well, it was different with the bald eagle. The bald eagle was so over the top because it wasn't.
He saw through his eyes. That's next level.
He wasn't taming the bald eagle. He was using the bald eagle's vision.
Again.
Yeah.
That is the pinnacle of the Doolittle Dundee.
What did we give that episode?
That's the one where he's like hiding in the leaves and grabs the dude. Like, that's
exactly
unbelievable. That
alone too. There's 2 of those things. There's one thing in this episode, and the rest of the plot was kind of mediocre to me. That's why I went with the 5. But I'm keeping it there. So what's that give this episode, Evan?
All right, well that gives this episode a rating of 6.66666 boots to the face. And I think we can all agree that a shirt needs to be made of Walker's wolf fusion moment. But let us know what you think on social media or by emailing us at roundhouseroulette@gmail.com. And when we come back, we're going to spin that roundhouse roulette wheel and select our next episode.
Don't go away.
Don't do it. All right, Bob, you ready to spin that wheel?
Here we go. Here.
Okay.
She'll do to ride the river with.
Season 2, Episode 7, She'll do to ride the river with. Okay. A veterinarian investigating the strange deaths of local animals is killed, and his daughter asks Walker to seek justice by hunting down the murderer. Okay. Well, not skyjacked, but maybe this will be better.
All right. Well, we hope you'll join us next time when we share our reactions to Season 2, Episode 7, She'll Do to Ride the River With. And in the meantime, share your opinions with us on Facebook and Instagram at Roundhouse Roulette and on Twitter at Roundhouse Pod. And rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your fine podcasts. Thanks for listening, and until next time,
May the eyes of the Ranger be upon you.
When you're in Texas, look behind you. Oh, 'cause that's where the Ranger's gonna be.